And now I'm so pleased to introduce Chmaj, Senior Director, KM Strategy for Verint, whose talk is called Knowledge Delivery with Faster, Smarter Agents. John is a longtime speaker and supporter of KM World and has been in the field of KM for over 30 years at lots of wonderful places like Microsoft, Lotus, Kana, Nova, Primus, and the Consortium for Science Innovation. He's worked in all phases of the customer support process, including telephone and online support, technical writing, KM applications development, and worldwide knowledge systems design. So please welcome him as he discusses knowledge delivery with faster, smarter agents. Welcome.
Good morning. I was billed on the abstract as a fun speaker, so I have to tell at least one joke. We'll see what emerges. Anyways, I'm John Chmaj. I sound really old when you say all that stuff. I like to tell people I've been doing knowledge management since before there was an internet. And that sort of gets the youngins thinking, there was a time when there wasn't internet? So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm tempted to talk about taxonomy and content structure and modeling. We've been talking about that all week, and we're going to talk about it some more, and it's great stuff. I'd like to chat a little bit about stitching it all together. How do you put it together into some kind of a business process that motivates your business? In our world, we live in support and service. Verint sells products for support and service organizations. We sell over 40 lines of product, everything from call management system, well, actually we sell call recording, quality management, speech analytics, voice of the customer, workforce optimization, workforce engagement, IVA, yes, knowledge management, community. We have a whole life cycle support for people engaging in customer support and service. Now, nobody gets up in the morning waiting to call support. I can't wait to call support this morning, right? It's an exception-based activity, right? I'm brought to a halt because I can't do something on my machine or with my business process. So I have to engage support. And sad to say, the problems are significant. You know, I can't find what I need. I don't understand the content I'm being given, even if I find it. I don't know what I'm looking for. I have multiple types of information being presented to me, and I've only got, about 5 or 10 minutes that I want to solve this problem. I don't have a whole lot of problems that I want to spend time talking to people about. So support has a mandate to be efficient and meet me where I am. I'm not interested in reading documents if I'm a support user. I'm interested in getting an answer. Reading knowledge and consuming knowledge is a means to an end for me. So from the customer standpoint, knowledge has to be contextual, has to be fast, has to be at the speed of my thought and conversation. Now, inside the organization, employees, including support agents, have the same challenge. Unfortunately, we have the same challenges we've had for decades. Finding information is difficult. I sometimes just ask my buddy, which means my knowledge is only as good as my buddy's information. I don't know whether anybody even knows how to use a knowledge base. I don't know that anybody cares about what I do with the knowledge base. If my knowledge is not contextual for the thing I'm trying to do, which is to translate into a customer, then it's not useful for me. So the knowledge spec is pretty specific for knowledge management. I've got 5 minutes to answer this call. I've got about 120 seconds to find the answer to this question. Not the topic, not the document about it. I've got to find an answer. And so in solving this problem, it's at scale. We have to scale. We have tens of thousands of customers. I have a customer, 60,000 support agents. Imagine the size of that endeavor, all the people. But the value is huge. If I can save 5 seconds off of the call for 60,000 agents, I'm making some significant business savings. So the savings are huge, but the challenge is huge. So how do you manage that across an entire infrastructure? And given the number of products we have, we've developed a strategy that we think is useful to folks to scale, because each of these products has a potential to help along the support journey, right? Either internally helping support agents be efficient, or externally helping you everything from facing customers in self-service to agents in the call center to back office workers. And the way that we do that is through this open platform that we call the Verint Open Platform. And it takes all of those applications you see there. There's voice of the customer, there's channel delivery, there's copilots. There's all manner of applications in that suite. And what we've created is a platform that's centralized around our AI hub that's got all the researchers in it and all the applications. And then the data hub also has all of the information that comes from the transaction. So you can take call information in your data hub and apply it to things like knowledge management or different transactions that you're having so that you can stitch together your view across these tools. And the way that we do this is with our friend, the bot. So we've got the notion of bots to motivate this approach. Now, a bot is just a specific application that performs a specific process. And most of these are using some form of AI. And I'm going to walk you through a few of these to give you a sense of how the bots can chain together. The value of this granular approach of having 40 bots is you can mix and match what you need. Maybe you need some sort of a self-help app. Maybe you need something at a particular point in your agent journey. Maybe you need something to help you with a conversation you want to have in a social channel. All these things can be linked together to form any business process that you would like to instantiate. And in addition, it's an open platform, so you can bring your own LLM, you can bring your own application. We're not trying to be a monolithic platform. Nobody's going to buy everything from Verint. What they're going to do is they're going to use best-of-breed applications for the things they need to do. And so let's just take a look at how this stuff, let's see if I have my bot buddy. He goes down here. He won't sit with me here. There he is. All right. So let's just take a look at some of the applications where this takes place and give you a sense of how you can chain this together to get value. Well, the core of the knowledge management application is, of course, the knowledge automation bot, which is a RAG system. It takes your enterprise resources, brings them together into a common view, and brings back the results in the form of concise answers, which it aggregates from the content that you've had. Now, that's something that a lot of us are doing in this conference. But the value in support is that when you're searching support information, you can search a wide variety of content and bring back something that's germane to the question that somebody answered. And I don't know if you folks have thought about this, but having been at this a long time, we have changed not so subtly, but significantly from searching, whether it's keyword or semantic search or whatnot. The operation in our mind is I have to search for something, and I got to get clever about what words I put in because I'm going to get a list of documents back. And then I'm going to navigate those documents to find my answer. Gen AI transitions this mode of thinking into, I'm just going to state my question and get an answer to my question. Now, everything is not question answer. There are other documents that you can look at that come back from the search that can help you on your journey further. But in many cases, that answer is the thing that the person is asking about on the phone or in a support interaction. And so the more you can give answers or aggregate the information based on the question, then the more you're giving people the cognitive throughput, the cognitive lack of dissonance in terms of, I've got to read through documents. I don't want to read through documents. I've got to decide how to construct an answer if I'm a support agent from 3 pieces of information. No, I want that information to be aggregated so I can provide an answer and focus on the customer experience instead of trying to find stuff. We've all experienced somebody on the phone, just, you can tell they're looking for something, right? They're chatting with you about the weather or whatnot. You don't need that noise, right? And so the knowledge automation bot allows you to aggregate your resources quickly, get the information you need out in the form of an answer, and get on about your day. And the significance of this is huge. If I don't have to read documents, I can knock 20 seconds, 30, 45 seconds off of my handle time. And handle time is the holy grail of support. It's the unit of cost, right? If I have to spend 5 minutes on a call, and I can save 45 seconds on average for a call, then I'm saving enormous amounts of money. And where does that come from? It comes from reading. I got frustrated at a customer account once who kept bashing on me about search. I said, let's just draw a pie chart. And let's just look at how much time, if this is the time you're looking at knowledge, how much time are you spending searching? Oh, about 5 seconds. How much time are you spending navigating documents? Oh, another 10 seconds. What's the other 45 seconds of that minute being done? I'm reading. So the more you can collapse reading into just navigating the answer and getting it right back, the better things are for you. So that's sort of the knowledge automation bot works in a fairly simple way. It's providing answers. I mean, the use case is sophisticated in terms of its processing power. It's got a lot of heavy lifting power, but it takes the notion of a content object. Here's a content object with asking about applying for a mortgage, all the documents I need. The answer is in the document, but it's got all this stuff you got to read. What you can do is you can actually generate the answer. It just gives you the things you need that the person asked about to apply for the mortgage, and it all comes from individual documents or multiple documents. And instead of the long form information that you have to read, you can provide this answer quickly. So that's the difference between getting an answer and getting the document back as the goal of your interaction. So let's talk a little bit more about how you can leverage some of this information as well. So we've got a copilot, the notion of something that can sit or float on your desktop and give you answers and empower you as you work. And so it can actually provide the knowledge automation bot, the AI answers, in a panel that you can embed in your support organization. So the copilot is it actually can put other things on your screen for you. It can put coaching information. It can put sentiment from speech analytics. It can do a whole lot of stuff for you. And so this is an example on the desktop where this knowledge automation can occur. You can take information from a desktop, say it came in on a chat channel or a self-service channel, and then you can apply that information dynamically as the agent works. So as the agent's talking, we have a speech analytics product that triggers a text analytics that goes off and finds information for you. And so then it brings back that information on the Copilot panel, and you can go on about your day while you're talking. So even more efficient, I'm shortening my time to resolution, right? And so there's other applications of this. And we have a very sophisticated IVA. So the IVA has some agentic capabilities and go out and do some things for you, but it also can launch a knowledge interaction and bring back knowledge as you work. And so the IVA has a lot of power to retrieve information from approved knowledge sources, and it can be used to supplement traditional IVA interactions, like at the end of an interaction, if you don't have an answer, you bring the knowledge back. So this application can be applied in other contexts. There's another form of self-service, the classic web self-service. Well, we've got a community app that's best of breed that allows you to integrate knowledge and community together. And then you get the best of both worlds, as Seema was talking about, the value of collaboration along with the value of knowledge. And so that's a powerful application as well, where you can take the notion of the IVA or the community application as a knowledge source and vend it out to people, the customers, as they need it. Again, all using these various bots to instantiate and build out your use case depending on which of these channels you care about, right? Do you care about community? Do you care about call center? Do you care about self-service and the IVA? All these can be addressed in themselves. And I'd say the big trend that's becoming mainstream at this conference for me is the content generation stuff through prompts, right? The idea that I can create content by using prompts. I can update, refine, improve tone. We've got a knowledge creation bot that helps you summarize your information so authors can create new content quickly from larger sources and create more targeted information. So that's another application of the technology, right? Is leveraging Gen AI to create content and manage your information that way. So on all these fronts, you've got the self-service with the IVA, integration with community. You've got when things come into a desktop, you can handle it through speech analytics using AI. The knowledge suggestion bot, we have a bot that brings back that dynamic knowledge as you work. So that's zero-click proactive knowledge. And you've got the notion of the knowledge automation bot itself when you want to search. And this all can be embedded. Because it's an open platform, you can embed this in various solutions and applications in your environment, and you can bring in your own applications for this. If you want to bring in, as I said, your own LLM, you want to bring in your own applications and link them into this space, we've got a whole connector architecture with hundreds of connectors that can help you do that. And so, in essence, you're stitching this stuff together, right? You're supercharging your KM practice with all these bits and bots that you need. The knowledge automation bot, the Copilot. There's knowledge gap analysis to help you find where you want to improve your content, and then also a knowledge creation bot to create new content where you find gaps. And so the idea is you're getting assistance at each step in your business process. And so that's what the bot buys you, is it buys you a granular, focused application space directly linked to the thing you're trying to do. And because they're linked to different applications and different tasks, you can mix and match, right? You can start where you are. You can do something simple. You can go where you need to. There's a whole dashboard strategy for knowledge automation value to look at how are things motivating my business, where am I seeing value, where am I seeing opportunities for improvement. And then finally, at the end of the day, the idea is that you get your success, right? The knowledge management success is what I call a win-win-win. Customer wins because they get the best answer. The support agent wins because they have less noise in their day, a simpler, more effective workflow, and the organization wins because it gets higher value. And so the business outcomes can be enormous if you've got the ability to reduce call duration, improve your net promoter score, save call duration with a wrap-up bot where you can wrap up your cases really quickly. There's just a whole host of these bots. In the support realm, everything is measured. There's thousands of interactions per day. Knowledge management has a great opportunity to provide value, and it does so on a regular basis. And we're seeing enormous benefits when you can knock off just a little bit of time off of thousands of interactions per day. You can achieve enormous value, enormous capability. That's my story. Thank you.